your nose in it. I'm authentic, real name, no gimmicks, no game, no scrimmage. I ain't playing with you niggas.
Everyone, it's the Nation Up Podcation Daily Podcast. I'm O'Shea. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Hip hop superstar and G Unit member Tony Yayo talks about the real reason he has issues with Young Buck and how Young Buck, he thought he was his friend, but Young Buck's not a friend. Now, as we all know, Young Buck was part of G Unit. When Tony Yayo got locked up, they brought Young Buck in. He was the South representative of G Unit. Then you had The Game. He was in there. He was the West representative of G Unit. So they had pretty much the whole nation on lock. You had 50 Cent, Yayo, and Banks from the East Coast. You had Buck from down south, Cashville, and then you had The Game with the West Coast. All they was missing, all they needed was like a Murphy Lee or somebody from the Midwest, a Twister or somebody like that to hold down the Midwest, and they would have had the whole nation on lock. Anyway, Tony Yayo talks about how folks are only loyal to their situation, how they're loyal to just the money, how they're not really friends. And he was talking about, he used Young Buck as an example. Buck, he thought was his friend. They was riding around together. They was doing certain things, hanging out together, but he was only around to try to take advantage of 50 Cent. These are Tony Yayo's words. Let's take a look at this clip from Yayo as he explains how Buck used to move, why Buck's not his friend anymore, and how he was just around just to try to take advantage of 50 Cent and ride the G Unit wave. Let's take a look at this clip.
I just look at a situation like everybody's not going to be loyal to you. It's the rap game. It's the streets. Like, there's really not too much loyalty in the game, or in people or around people and people's energy. So if you find some loyal people, just, stick with them, bro. And that's it. I've been in the game for a long time, like in the industry, and I realized that like everybody's not your friend. Some shit is just business. And as far as I could say is like my situation with Fifth, like he always looked out for niggas and looked out for niggas around him, but everybody's not gonna be loyal, bro. It's just a game. People is gonna, take the best, I guess, opportunities they feel is best for them. I think sometimes the people just move. It's not a lot of loyalty in this business, man. It's the rap game. I used to think a lot of people in the industry were my friends and realized they're not. Like, not my friends, it was just business. I mean, when I first got out of jail, I felt like, I was like, damn, I felt good and felt like, a lot of people that was around was my friends, but I realized, like, people that work in the office, they got their own lives, and, I was just a dude that was just happy. I got out of jail, we one of the biggest groups in the world. So for me, I was just on one. I thought everybody was my friend, but everybody's not your friend. A lot of people want to use you to get to certain places, and once they get there, it's over. Like a lot of people, a lot of relationships that I had with people, they wanted to just be cool with me and let me get to the boss man, let me get to 50 Cent. Let me be cool, let me get to the boss man, let me get to Jay-Z. Let me be cool, let me get to the boss man, let me get to Vlad TV. I don't need you anymore. It's always just known to me as being a cutthroat industry. So them doing that it's nothing new to me. It's just another day at the office. Sometimes you can't go all out your way for people, because they're not gonna, reciprocate the same way you feel, bro. I feel like at a time we was friends, but certain things that he did, like I just turned him on to associate. I feel like Banks was more my friend. 50 was more my friend because we grew up in the same neighborhood. So he grew up in a whole nother town over. And every time there was drama, honestly, Yayo was the one that had to deal with everything because I was here in New York City. Nobody either said anything or nobody dealt with the altercations. It was always me that had to deal with, or life was on the line, or shit getting shot up, or cars getting shot up, or me having to fight, or knife fights, or me, oh, these niggas want to see me. Like, you even heard Fat Joe say, Yayo was the one we really wanted to catch. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just me. Buck didn't have to deal with any of the New York politics and New York drama. Out of everybody in Junior, I had to deal with the most drama because I was here. I was in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Dame was in California, Buck was in Cashville, and I was the nigga making the diss records and talking shit. Because, I just felt at that time I was young and I was on one. I just got out of jail. I was hyped. Like anybody would feel, bro. So, like I said, to be young, sometimes niggas, you could be on one, you don't want to listen, you hard-headed, I understand, bro.
Right, there you have it. So he said Buck didn't have to deal with the New York politics. He didn't have to deal with the issues with your Fat Joes of the world or your Murder Incs of the world. But at the same time, Buck did it was some award show where Dr. Dre and Suge Knight, they kind of had an altercation, and some of Suge's guys was trying to get Dr. Dre, and Buck pulled out a butter knife or something allegedly and had to do some stuff like that. So Buck did put in some work for G Unit, but at the same time, I understand what Tony Yayo saying. All them other New York beefs, hip hop beefs, he wasn't around for that. And Yayo was out there doing the mixtape scene. He was out there on the G Unit mixtape, talking his stuff, talking his talk, standing up for G Unit and all of that stuff. Now, I'm a big fan of what he said because there is a lot of people that's not loyal. When I got put on the YouTube stuff, a lot of folks start coming around because there's a lot of more money starting to be thrown around. Folks is getting to go on trips and vacations and wanting to hang out because I can afford to do a whole lot more. I got the same thing going on with my homie Last Name Song of the Nation of Podcast. You know what I'm talking about? He has become a DJ, and now all these dudes that didn't mess with him, even some folks that we grew up with, didn't mess with him at all. Now all of a sudden they all in the videos, dancing, getting a P. Diddy and stuff on. All, you know what I mean? They want to be on stage with him. They want to do all this, but it was just 6 months ago, a year ago, you wouldn't even acknowledge him or nothing like that. But now all of a sudden y'all want to be best friends and be all like that. Then that's clown stuff to me. But that's how people are, man. They are loyal to themselves. If they can take advantage of you, or it's an advantageous situation for them, of course they're going to, try to be around and do that. Now, does it look cool and all that stuff? Yeah, having a big entourage and all that, but just keep them antennas on, you know what I'm saying? Keep them up and open, and just make sure you watch your surroundings. Know who you deal with. I know who my true friends are. I know who has my back. I know who wants to see O'Shea succeed. I know who has my best interest at heart. There's some that do. There's a lot that don't. Nation, what do you think about Tony Yayo's comments on Young Buck? What do you think about Young Buck betraying G Unit? What do you think about Tony Yayo speaking on the issues in the industry about loyalty? Nation, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you all hit that like and subscribe button on your way out.
I'm authentic, real name, no gimmicks, no game, no scrimmage. I ain't playing with you niggas at all.